Right. This is what I've learned traveling with bike boxes in the past 2+ years. It's not about how to put your bike in the box. It's just about what I've learned traveling with the box. So most planes, 20 or 23 kilos from what I've experienced. I've travelled with Virgin Australia, Jetstar, China Eastern, no sorry, China Southern, and Bangkok Air with bike boxes. So 4 carriers. Not speaking for all of them, just from my experience on the ones that I've travelled with. 20 kilos or 23. This one coming back just recently was 20.2 at one stage, and that let that on no worries. Typically, what I'd say is that if it's less than 1 kilo over, you won't have a problem. If it's more than 1 kilo over, I'd say, depending on who you're talking to, may have a problem with it. Paying for it as well. Some airplanes, or some carriers I should say, don't charge you for it. China Southern, I took 2 check bags, so this counts as your check bag, and I took that and one other suitcase, no worries. The allowance on the weight I think was even more, so you can fit quite a lot of stuff in there. This is a carbon road bike, and I'll put that with speakers, shoes, a full floor pump as well, no worries, and quite a lot of other stuff. So if your bike's around 10 kilos, you've got a lot of allowance. You can put, clothes. I often put a towel in there to protect the frame. I find that's one of the, multi-use. You can use your towel when you're arrived at your destination, and that's good. As far as we're paying for the bike box, that was the case with China Southern. The other ones, you do have to pay for them. So like Virgin Australia, I had to pay at one stage $150 to come back from Australia to New Zealand, and that depends on when you inform the airline about what you're carrying. So I think typically it's 24 hours, but I'd say within your week of travel, let the airline know that you're going to be bringing a bike box. That way there's no issues, or less issues, and you're less likely to pay the max of what it could be. So that instance, if I had told them earlier on, it would have been only $70, but I instead ended up paying 150, so no, 120, sorry, so another $50 down the drain just because I was late. So yeah, check your T's and C's. I know that most people, when they're booking flights, I'm going to look at that stuff, which I didn't, and you may end up paying for it later as well. Another instance of having to pay extra was that recently we travelled from Bangkok to Koh Samui, and it is on a small propeller plane, and space is limited for baggage on that, and we had to move one of us, so I was travelling with another person, and one of us had to change to a bigger plane because we didn't give them enough time, or didn't give them enough notice, to accommodate and allow for 2 bike boxes to be put on a small plane. So again, let the airline know, I'd say within a week, that you're going to be, or wanting to travel with 2 big bike boxes. Other parts, that's just kind of covering off airline travel. Ferries and taxis are obviously another thing that you probably have to encounter depending on what your plans are with it, but certainly most people will just look at it and go, alright, that's extra, it's big, you're going to get charged more, and typically that is the case. So if you haven't done it before, then 100% be ready for being charged extra. A backpack on someone's back is going to cost you less, from what I've experienced, in a taxi or a ferry, just because of its size and what it is. People often think they're TVs, so you get a lot of curious looks at the airport and ferry terminals and stuff like that. Some people may even ask if they've got the courage to and say, is that a TV? It's quite funny. You may have that laugh in the future if you do. One thing I will say as well is, having used only these boxes and never any travel cases or bags, they're very cheap to get, often free from bike stores. That means that, if you are in a place and you have abandoned your original box and you can get one, and also they don't weigh much, around about 2 kilo is typically what they are. The thing is with these is, as you can see, the handles do rip, so be especially mindful of how much weight you put in the box. Like this box, when it was full a few days ago, was 19.7 kilos. So you know, the handles will rip at about that weight, and typically like the baggage handlers will just pick them up and not be mindful of the handles and usually start to rip them like this end. No, that end. So I'd say try and keep your handles in good condition, because if you're going to use the box multiple times, like this one's been to about 6 different places in the last little while, and it made it the whole way. So if you look after the handles in the box, it'll be fine. Lastly, how to tape it, or how I tape it. I used to, the first couple of times that I did it, I would put tape everywhere. I don't think that's necessary at all. One thing I will say is that if you can get a box that has the staples still in the bottom and is still glued on the bottom, get that one over a folded one any day. Much better, much more strong in my opinion. Taping it, so when everything's all packed up, I'd go 1 over the top, 2, 3, and then 1 down the whole side over each end, and then maybe 1 more over the middle, and that's it. There's no real need to go overboard with it. The baggage handlers, you do allow them to do whatever they want with it, so fingers crossed that they don't just go wild and treat it like shit. And yeah, you can also write messages on it. I don't know if that helps. It probably doesn't. It probably just pisses them off, but you never know. Anyways, yes, so if you've got any questions about my experiences or any other questions that I may be able to answer, post them down below and I may be able to help you out.